Hello everyone. As always, it's great to see you here again. Now, for quite some time, I've had many people ask me about doing some sort of online Zoom training meetings. And I guess it's something I've always thought was a great idea, but I've not really had the time to put anything concrete into action. Well, that is about to change. Now, as you all know, I have over 180 videos here on YouTube full of information on how to photograph the night sky and landscape, how to edit images of the Milky Way, and general tips relating to motivation, inspiration, and I guess ideas regarding composition and camera settings. Look, it's all there completely free for you to access. But the problem is that you have to wade through all of those videos, sometimes just to find the information you're looking for. And that can take quite some time. Heck, it even takes me a while to find a specific topic when I go searching. So I think the time has come for me to instigate a more interactive method of helping you guys find the information you're looking for. Now, sometimes this will be for camera settings or information on lens choices. Maybe it's about struggles we all have related to finding a decent composition and then how to compose a shot in the dark. Now, I've been living and breathing these things for years now, and it can certainly be a battle when you're out there, often all alone on a cold night, fighting the elements and perhaps even the mental demons inside our own heads. So I want to help you. I'm going to make myself available to anyone who needs help to improve their nightscape photography. Now, I am certainly not arrogant enough to assume that I'm any better at photography than any of you, but I do have a lot of experience dealing with people who are struggling with these very issues. You see, nightscape photography is very technically demanding, much more than any other genre of photography, and this is where a lot of people struggle with shooting Milky Way photos. Look, we need to take control of the camera. We need to have an assurance in the settings and the steps we put into place. We need to know what we'll be doing before we even get in the car to leave for our shooting destination. Okay, so what am I going to do about this? Well, I want to connect with you guys on Zoom, both in group meetings and one-on-one focused chats. Now, group meetings are great for building community, and the idea of those would be to ask questions and have general interaction between participants. I guess you might call it a support group to help us get started on our journey. It may also be a way for complete beginners to rub shoulders with more experienced nightscape shooters. Now, one thing I've learned over the years teaching nightscape workshops is that people learn just as much from the other participants as they do from the workshop leader. Now, I call this sideways learning. And to be honest, sometimes we don't even realize we are actually learning. It just seems to happen organically. Anyway, that's something we'll be doing as a group, and I'll be working on ways to make that happen efficiently. These groups won't be so big that you get lost. I won't let that happen. You're all very important to me, and you'll all have a voice and time to ask questions or have your say. Now, I'm also well aware that the time differences around the world will come into play with this. So I may look at breaking the groups into regions around the world to get some consistency with meeting times. I guess I'll just have to consider that a bit further before we start. The other thing I'm really excited to offer is one-on-one meetings. These will be designed to help you personally with whatever issues you may be having, perhaps out in the field while shooting or in the edit process after you get back home. It may also be in actually choosing equipment or techniques related to light painting. Whatever you need, I'll do my best to make it happen for you. In fact, I'm even open to helping you live while you're out on location shooting the night sky. Now, this may be technically difficult, and I guess we'll certainly rely on having available Wi-Fi or phone service, but it is an option worth considering. Now, you'd be surprised how often I've had people say to me that they wish they could chat with me while they were actually out there on location. Well, this may be your chance to make that happen. Now, you're probably wondering how on earth I'm going to find the time to accommodate people in this new venture. Well, the simple truth is that I may not be able to accommodate everyone. There's only so many hours in a day. I mean, one thing that may work in your favor, especially for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, is that when you're out at night shooting, it may well be during daylight hours here in Australia where I live. So that gives me a little bit more flexibility with time. That's not to say that I'm sitting around all day twiddling my thumbs waiting for something to do. But with a little planning and organisation, I'm sure something could be worked out. So my first action with this will be to gauge interest from you. I want to know how many of you will be interested in participating in these ideas. Now, as much as I'd love to do all of this for free, I simply have to place a dollar value on my time. Yes, look, I love what I do, but my time is a limited resource and therefore I have to put boundaries in place just to keep my sanity. So to give you some idea of the time frames and cost, it will go something like this. I'll be limiting the group participants to about 20 people. We'll just see how that goes. And the cost of participating in one of these groups will be set at 20 Australian dollars per person per group session, or 200 Australian dollars for one whole year of group sessions. And I'm looking at about 15 group sessions per year. And I'm anticipating that these meetings will be 1 hour in length. So I'll work out a calendar of meetings when I gauge the number of people interested in attending. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I may put people into groups where they come from similar time zones around the world, and that's just going to make it easier for people to join in at a reasonable hour of the day. I also want to particularly cater to mums and parents with kids at home. I don't want you to miss out on this, because I know you have so many things to juggle with commitments along the way. Now, the other big opportunity is one-on-one Zoom meetings with me. The idea of these will be to give you my full attention, and we can look at your images, discuss issues you're having perhaps with your camera or even other equipment, even editing if that's something you want to look at. I'm open to suggestion on these things, but the bottom line is that you'll have access to me for 1 hour on a Zoom call to chat. So because it's just one person, it'll be a lot easier to organise a suitable time for these to happen. Now, obviously, these will be more intense and more in-depth, and I'll have to charge more according to that. So for my 1 hour, one-on-one Zoom sessions, I'll be charging a one-off fee of 300 Australian dollars. But if you wanted unlimited access to these sessions, I'll be offering 10 one-on-one sessions for 2,000 Australian dollars. Now, I fully realise that's a fair amount of investment, but the good news for many of you guys who are living in the US or Europe, overseas from Australia here, is that the exchange rate for the Australian dollar is very favourable to you guys at present. So I reckon that's something to take into account. Now, don't forget what I said earlier. If you have Wi-Fi access and you're out on location somewhere and you want to chat with me while you're actually shooting, then maybe we can do that as part of these one-on-one sessions. Look, technical limitations aside, I'm sure we could make that work. I've never heard of that happening, but let's give it a go. I reckon that would be a first for this type of content. But I know from experience that when you're actually out there on location, that's where you may need the assistance that I can give you. So there you have it. My new initiative for 2022, my on-location workshops. Look, they fill up really quickly every year, and this is just another opportunity for you guys to join me in honing your photography skills. And besides that, we can have a lot of fun along the way with plenty of other like-minded photographers. So All you need to do is follow the link on the screen below, and you can let me know if any of these options appeal to you. Now, make sure you include your location around the world so I can work out the appropriate time zones, things like that. Look, thanks so much for your great support. I really do appreciate your ideas and feedback, and most of all, I look forward to meeting you all face to face as we get started on this new idea. So, you guys have a fantastic week, and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible with further details. So, bye for now.